Yes, welcome back to Meet the HR show. Remember, my name is Sylvia Wanja and I am here with an ICT expert, Bernard, to learn more about his career journey and what it takes to be an ICT expert. So, Mr. Bernard.
Yes, Sylvia.
There's this I don't know whether to call it a pandemic because it has just come out. It has just come up out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was there before, but we didn't pay much attention to it.
Yeah.
But right now, everyone is talking about it. So, what is your take on AI, and how do you think it affects people in general? As an ICT expert.
So, Sylvia, that's really fundamental.
Yeah.
If you asked me, I would tell you AI would completely redefine how we live. Mm-hmm. AI would completely change how we live. I mean, look at ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. Today, if I needed to write a complete thesis,
you can do it in
I would just go ChatGPT and work from there.
Yeah.
It's an overhaul, if you ask me. And when you look at the blue chip companies investing in AI, whether you're talking about Amazon, Microsoft, you're talking about many of these leading entities investing in AI.
Yeah.
I have personally built systems that have AI elements. In Kenya Tea Packers, we implemented a major Salesforce automation solution that has AI elements. So picture this. You have 100 sales reps all across the country, and they have apps that they use to sell. Picture a situation where a rep waking up in Bungoma, and the AI app tells him that today you're likely to close sales in 60 outlets. You're supposed to collect 40 checks, and there are 16 inquiries you need to follow up on.
Oh.
So AI is huge. The application is unlimited. In fact, I could project that through AI, some of the careers would be probably redundant in 10 years' time.
Very true. That was the next question I was coming to. Don't you think like AI is taking jobs from people? Because people are demonstrating, people are everywhere on the streets. They don't want this AI thing because it's taking jobs from them.
The sad reality is it presents an opportunity.
Yeah.
Many of the entities today talk about cost management.
Yeah.
If I implement a bot that has AI elements, and I can automate jobs that would ordinarily require 1,000 people, then there is, of course, a huge social element around the impact artificial intelligence is likely to have in our industry. And no industry is immune to disruption.
Yeah.
Whether you're in the hospitality space, in manufacturing, whether you're in medical backgrounds. These days you can sit in a hospital in Nairobi, but your surgeon is in New York.
Oh.
Through tech. And when you look at the future that would be defined by AI, machine learning, robotics, I mean, the potential for disruption is huge. Yeah.
So we just do we accept it, or do we fight it, or do we just go along with the way things are? What do we do?
I think acceptance would be good.
Yeah.
But largely learning on how to leverage on AI in our day-to-day tasks. I would say the change may not be steep; it will be gradual. But AI is really set to change the way we work and the way we operate.
So we just accept it.
Yeah.
Acceptance is better.
Absolutely.
So we just start slowly so that we can gradually progress with it. Okay, and so there's so many coding languages that are there. I myself am not an expert, so I wouldn't know them in detail. But what do you think are some of the important languages for any ICT expert in the field?
I think depending on what you want to achieve, I'd be thinking around Python. Well, at the Frontier, we teach our grade 1 learners around Python, which really, when you look at it, it's a very key language that you can use to develop apps. Of course, C# you're looking at .NET framework, React, and many of these other languages, HTML, of course. And depending on whether you're building CMS or you're building a basic site, you're likely to use a blend of all that. Because typically if you're building a website, you obviously need a database and you need to work on the front end, and the language can be different. Again, there are platforms that have come up, WordPress, Joomla, that you can leverage on to build whatever sites you're looking at. But largely, as a developer, you have to be conversant with all the languages, because today you're in an environment that was built using one set of language. If you shift jobs and you get to a new environment, you probably have to be conversant with the other language. Yeah.
So it's good for you to be all-rounded.
It's
Don't
important.
just limit yourself to...
In technology, we call it multi-skilling. So you've got to be multi-skilled. If you set your eyes and ears in one platform, one programming language, you probably would struggle when the platform changes or when you're thrown into an environment that you're not so familiar with. Yeah.
So it's good to be prepared.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And when it comes to ICT, are there any regulations that actually limit you to, like in your workspace, such that if anything goes wrong, like hacking, there are repercussions to the person behind it, or how does it work?
I think the Data Protection Act has come at the right time.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the statement issued by CA and the data commissioner about the WorldCoin fuzz, we are more guided with the data protection law now in place. Depending on the industry you play in, for example, if you are in the fintech space or you're working with a bank, there are regulations that limit you as to where you can back up your data. You've heard of the cloud, but you, depending on the industry you're in, particularly around the fintech space, there's some cloud platforms that are hosted, say outside the country, that the law would limit you from replicating your data to a foreign land. And I think as we go along, I would actually expect the government to tighten the controls around the tech space. 10 years ago, we didn't have a lot of cloud usage. Now everybody's talking about the cloud. And so as this evolves, IT, we said, is dynamic. And as the IT space changes, there is, of course, conversation around data protection, data safety. For example, if you're picking my biometric, I'll be concerned that where do you store them? Are they safe?
What are they using it for?
Absolutely. What's the purpose of that kind of heavy data collection? So yes, of course, we are all under the Constitution. So when you look at the cyber and electronic bill that was passed and is now in force, it really guides on how people interact in the cyberspace. Today, I tell every young person that the internet never forgets. So this being Meet the HR show, I would tell every young person that be very careful what you type out there. Because 10 years from now, someone will pull those records, and that would probably be between you and your job.
We've seen severally online, people have lost jobs. Because of the things that they posted when they were still young, so they were still immature, but it still impacts what is happening at the moment.
At the workplace.
Yes, at the workplace. So when it comes to ICT, do you need licensing for you to operate, or do you just go into the job market?
I like what the government is doing. When I look at the Jitume program, I would say it's a genius. Because today, if you give a young person laptop and data, within minutes, they could create a website. And just at the click of a button, an idea can be born, and they could be employing hundreds of young people. Unlike the medical space where you have the medical practitioners, unlike the finance where you have ISPAC regulating accountants, the IT space is largely unregulated. But I know the government is already working into regulating the IT space. We are one of those few industries that we are looking at, with basic training in technology. You're really an IT professional. But there are ethics that people need to learn about. It's not just enough learning Python in your garage and you're already working with big corporate entities without having the basic training around communication, ethics that would basically guide your profession. So I would just say that many employers today look at your credentials from the point of what are you trained in, what are you gifted at, what professional certifications do you have. For example, today, if I am to work in a department that is structurally dealing with infrastructure and networks, would be keen on, Cisco certifications that allows you configure routers, and you'd be looking at third-party certifications, whether you're looking at a Sophos certification if you're in the cyberspace, and largely that would really answer your question.
It's all right. And when it comes to ICT, there's a lot happening, there's a lot of tech happening. Do you think it's possible for someone to learn it online without having to step into a class physically?
I'd say all the trainings I've gone through, save for probably 2 or 3, have all been online.
Oh, wow.
And the beauty with technology is most of these courses are better done online. You don't have to physically be in a class, unless, of course, you're talking about a hardware lesson where you probably have to touch, feel, or learn how to put together equipments. But many of the IT courses are pretty much online, whether you're looking at Microsoft courses, Cisco courses. There are online classes that run, podcasts. There are trainings that you just have to subscribe online and you can take a whole course online. I mean, today His Excellency the President is awarding a charter to the first, perhaps, open university in Kenya. So I would project that in perhaps 10 years' time, many of the universities would probably have more learners taking virtual courses as opposed to physical and on campus.
So again, technology is coming into education.
Absolutely.
And you have to embrace it.
Absolutely.
And remember, in ICT, you need to keep on refreshing so that you can keep up with the trends that are happening. So, Mr. Bernard, what would you tell someone who wants to pursue ICT as a career in future using that camera?
I would say to every young person today, and not so young, and the young at heart, IT space is dynamic, vast, and it's an open check. One, it's very important that you appreciate what technology would redefine what we are going to look like 10 years from now. We live in the age and time where our lives will be largely driven by AI, machine learning, robotics, big data. And it's important to align. So whichever course you want to pursue around the IT space, the one piece of advice I would have is think about other professional courses that may be over and above your first degree, second degree. And it's important to keep a look at the emerging technologies that would redefine what we do in the tech space. And of course, just be curious and learn and unlearn around the IT space.
Wow. That is absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for the words that you've given to the young people out there who want to pursue ICT as a course. And I hope if you're back at home and you actually want to pursue it, you now have some few tips that will guide you as you pursue your course further. That has been it here at Meet the HR Show. My name is Sylvia Wanja. I hope to see you guys next week. Same place, same time. And remember, there is no luck in career, but it's when opportunity meets preparation. So prepare yourself for that career and things will go right for you. Bye.